Good afternoon, traders. It is Thursday, June 6th, 2019, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Hey, the Dow had another good day today. It gained 181 points. This is actually the fourth straight up day in the row, and of course, we had that huge move back on Tuesday, 500 some plus points, 200 plus points yesterday, and 181 today. So the Dow is looking fantastic. The problem, we didn't do fantastic today. We had a little pullback from where we've been, and not bad, but a pullback nevertheless. We've been running, on supercharge the last uh, 3 days and just raking in the dough. And usually when that happens, you doesn't just keep up, and it didn't keep up today. The problem was we were basically short the market rather than being long. We were essentially short um, energy stocks like inverse crude oil and drip and DWT, I think. Anyway, regardless, um, we had been doing really well with those, particularly about the middle of the day yesterday. But then they started to weaken toward the end of the day, and they weakened even more overnight. And crude oil actually opened up this morning. So we had $13,000 in open trade equity on the close yesterday. Most of that was short these energy stocks. And this morning, unfortunately, we saw that all um, dribble down the drain, and we closed out with a whopping positive $109. So we saw 13,000 go to 109. That hurts. It happens. I tell you, it's one of the reasons I don't like to be short. I have had um, plenty of bad experiences shorting the market, and so I just explain if I'm confusing you. We weren't short any stocks, but those stocks were things like inverse crude oil. So that stock's going to be up when crude oil was down. And the problem was crude oil gained quite a bit overnight. And so what was up for us yesterday was down this morning. So that's where $13,000 in potential profits went. Um, that I could have lived with, which was kind of uh, difficult to handle, is surprisingly enough, even with a good positive move like this, we didn't get in to much of anything. We got into three positions, and one of those was a real dog, and I'm going to show that to you in a second. So with only three positions, one positive, two negative, we're still holding negative $4,200 going into tomorrow. It isn't that we can't handle a $4,200 loss after all the money we've made in the last 3 days, but still, it kind of hurts a little. Um, but you just can't keep having spectacular days, day after day after day. It just doesn't happen uh, for traders, and so it didn't happen to us. I'll show you. I'll show you a couple of these. Uh, I'll show you the one good trade we had today. It didn't get us in positive territory, but it just I love the looks of this chart. This is one of our new stocks. It's AYX, and I think that's pronounced Alterix. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Anyway, the it's AYX is the stock, and this thing opened lower, and then it started gaining. About midday, it hits our buy signal, and the thing just gets going. Look at that line. I mean, you don't see that in trading very often. That that thing just never even paused today after a lower opening this morning. Pretty amazing, and I'm showing it to you just because it looks so good. But actually, we only have $1,600 in open trade equity in AYX. Now I got to show you the horrible one. And this happens, this happens, but it's just one of those things. You really want to scream as a trader when this happens. We buy the gaps, you know that. And this is HIIQ, which is Health Insurance Innovations Incorporated. And for some reason, this thing just broke out of its pattern this morning. This huge gap up. And we didn't buy it on the open, thank God. But as it was coming back here, 30, 40 minutes into the day, we grabbed it because it's still in the buy territory for us. But this thing was just falling like a brick. It was like catching falling daggers. And this thing was down like $2,000-3,000 before I could hardly blink at it today. And then it really kept sinking and leveled out some down here, but it's closing near its lows, and we're down $5,600 on this single rotten stock. At least it's a rotten stock today for us. So that's where our losses on this open trade equity were. They were in health insurance innovations. Now, I will say that stocks are perverse enough that everything went against us today. Tomorrow this thing could open up. I mean, that's how crazy these stocks can be. I don't think that's very likely, but it could happen. So that's the way it went today. I just want to remind you that I am going to be around here tomorrow on Friday for the Open. But then shortly after the Open, I'm going to put everything on automation and take off. And I'm going to be exploring wilderness areas out in the middle of our beautiful state of Nevada. And I therefore will not have a video tomorrow afternoon, but I will do the video on Sunday afternoon, so it will be there on the website for you to see. Anyway, we'll see you. Well, I won't see you tomorrow. I'll see you Sunday.